I was trying to turn the TV down. James.
So, KG, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Don, are you ready?
Motherfucker. Yeah, I'm ready.
And I'm ready. So let's get sizzling.
That is beautiful. That's just beautiful to watch.
It is. I still
Yeah, it gets
like.
better and better every time you see it. You know,
I still like that
you always
motherfucker.
catching something new every time you see it. Seems like.
You're welcome. All right, well, let's talk about some things, fellas. How y'all feeling tonight?
So far, so good.
Well, it's another Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody. I got some money because I
You
just
about to
got
get
paid.
beat. You about to get beat. You talk about you ain't got nobody. Your wife will beat you, man. I'm not responsible for that butt whipping.
Well, she know the rules. If I was back home right now, I'd have 2 chicks on my arm swinging.
Mm. Okay. So James, what you smoking? What you drinking?
Well, let's see. I've went to archive and found a CAO Bones, which I haven't had in a while, and I'm gonna try to finish up some more of this charred oak, this charred oak rye. So we'll see how far we get into this bottle.
Word. KG, how's your week been?
Long but prosperous.
That's what she
said. To be honest, this has been a great week for the Sideline Junkies as a whole.
What y'all do this time?
Man, from Sunday to Friday, we released 7 episodes.
Wow.
We had a couple of days where we had 2 episodes come out in a day. We've been on it. We had an awesome conversation off air yesterday.
As I talk about all 136 messages, yeah, I know.
That was fun. That got me through the day. So
I'm glad.
That was great. That was great. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, how about yourself?
Well, I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere. And I still don't like James. So I'd say it's about a normal week. You could sprinkle a little bit of wrestling in there somewhere, and then, some Saudi money and stuff like that. And the fact, nope, I'm not even going to mention it yet. I was going to go there. I was going to commit a little bit extra. I'm just going to hold that since, my computer is having some extra technical difficulties. So my presentation is not presenting at the moment. But I want to give a shout out to the wife, despite, her amazing Facebook posts and pictures. She also was able to curate a nice little slideshow that unfortunately ain't sliding right now. And I don't want to exit out, but I may have to and jump back in. So, James, tell us what you are wearing, man.
Well, before I do, I just want to say I'm glad to know that I'm renting space in your head, but too bad it's an efficiency. Anyway, my shirt is for Yoshinobu Kanemaru, part of the Suzuki Gun faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is his shirt. So figure I'll break that one out tonight. Especially after the night I had last night. It kind of fits the theme. Hello?
I'm here.
I think I don't know if he's frozen or not. I don't see nothing moving in his glasses.
Nope. I think Don is frozen. He might have to.
He did say he had to jump out though. Oh God, I was about to say he only hit twice. Hell no.
No,
one is enough.
Was I was trying to share the screen, but unfortunately it would not let me. It would not cooperate. So Crown Jewel just happened. We'll jump into the big. Oops. We'll jump into the big mix. Crown Jewel just happened. So I think how many more Crown Jewels do we have before their contract is up? I want to say it's like 4. For whatever reason, that number is sounding. I see you, man. Hey, man, if there was 2 of me, well, I mean, this is a family show. Never mind. I can't talk about what would go down.
Since when is this a family show?
Maybe I can later on. But I mean, since KG got OnlyFans, and James has been his OnlyFan for a long time, so
wait, easy now, easy. Unless you're giving out the daggone link, I don't think we need to talk about OnlyFans.
All right, what is it? The big guy KG at OnlyFans still stalking Jordan Grace.
Stop it. Stop it.
You know you're the cameraman. I remember was that like 3 weeks ago we saw you in a picture?
You saw me in what picture?
In the mirror when she was posing in that bikini. What you about to go look for it? You looking for it?
No.
To make sure it's you.
I'm actually looking for a pen. Thank you very much.
Stop lying, man. You was over there about to tap that tablet real quick. Like, did you really see me?
I don't have to do that.
All right, so
she's a respectable young lady. I don't have anything to say. She's a respectable lady.
We're gonna pull the fourth wall real quick, and I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Can you also see me?
We can see you.
That's the first thing right there. I was about to take my shirt off, but I guess I can't now since the wife is close by.
Go ahead and get yourself hurt.
You say go ahead and do it?
Get yourself hurt.
All right, so talk amongst yourselves. Do some wrestling talk.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Give me a second to get this thing back up here because it backed me all the way out.
Man, you hate.
I'm trying to get there.
Well, we do have a busy night in wrestling tonight. We do have a busy night in wrestling tonight. I mean, right now you got AEW Dynamite, which just started at 9 o'clock. You got GCW's War Ready that's going to be starting at about 11 or 12 o'clock. And then you also have the Bound for Glory Impact pay-per-view that's going to start at midnight tonight because they're on Vegas time. So, it's a busy night tonight as far as wrestling is concerned.
How come midnight? Why are they doing it at midnight? Where are they at?
They're in Vegas. They're doing it on Vegas time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They're not doing it to make up for, they're doing it at 8 o'clock Vegas time, West Coast time.
Them busters. All right, so let's see if our lovely guys in the truck actually is going to let this work this time. I think we're being sabotaged. I don't know how bad did I talk about Vince McMahon this week? Not too much, I don't think, but could be.
So while he's doing that, did you all see what went down about between Becky and Charlotte on that segment that they had?
Speaking of Charlotte, why was Charlotte looking like she looked like a older Cher?
Charlotte, man, let's not talk about that. We talked about Charlotte and her looks a couple times. Unfortunately, I like I don't think we can say that because we may get would that still be Me Too?
Nah, you just get canceled.
Yeah. We can't do that because people too sensitive. I just like to see Charlotte and her beautiness. Why is this not?
Yeah, there was some things backstage going on after that segment. That turned into a little shoot there in the middle in the ring.
I know, which was kind of it looked odd when it was all going down, but I wonder why. I was trying to find that out as to why there was backstage heat before the segment. There was definitely a lot of heat after the segment, and Vince is pissed at Charlotte for leaving, especially knowing that she went down to Orlando to be with Andrade, who was over here talking about FU WWE. Do you know what provoked him to just tweet that out of nowhere?
I don't know, but from what I have read, there's been heat between Becky and Charlotte for a while since there was a promo that Becky cut calling Charlotte plastic. And yeah. Charlotte never appreciated that she said that, because I wish she went off script when she said it. So so they've been having heat for a while now. And then there was supposed to be some kind of cat and mouse back and forth with the belts and whatnot, but then I don't know if Charlotte dropped it intentionally or on purpose when she first dropped the belt. And then it pissed off Becky, and that's why she threw the belt at her.
Yeah.
And then she walked off. Now, they were supposed to wait until Sasha had gotten in order to do their spot, but I think Becky wound up leaving earlier than she was supposed to. And so then Vince, they got backstage, and Vince kind of got into it. But neither one of them were talking to Vince, so that pissed Vince off. And then, like you said, with Charlotte leaving like she did to go to Orlando because Andrade had a match that night, a big match that night against Pac. So it was it's something else.
Yeah. Sorry, boo. I tried, but unfortunately, now I can't. God damn it, Bobby.
Now we in the vortex, but we got a lot of comments going on. Ben say Charlotte looks terrible. Perry chimed in. Reported security escorted her out.
Are we there yet?
And then Ben also said, well, Charlotte got a lot of work done. She has got a lot of work done, but she looked horrible the other night. Like, remember, what was that? Last year we were talking about Bayley and her makeup. Whoever did Bayley makeup that night to make Bayley look like a 49-year-old divorcee, they did Charlotte's makeup.
Well, that was there's a couple of things going with that, but through the wonders of modern technology, and I guess the fact that my laptop decided it wanted to do what it's supposed to do, now you can see the fruits of her labor. So Crown Jewel, tied. I hate all y'all right now, but all right. So you guys see it?
Yeah, we see it.
All right, good.
Better hope this was in the budget.
I know, right?
As much as we spent on it. So we'll go ahead and talk about Crown Jewel. But before we do, unfortunately, I'm not afforded the ability, since I'm sharing my screen, to look at each one of your faces. But nope, I'm not going to look. I'm not going to peer at another thing because I know what it's going to look like. As I say, beyond the shadow of a doubt, as God is my witness, it is my pleasure to once again hold the crown and be your pay-per-view champion. Because KG, as in typical fashion, you suck. You only had 4 wins. James, as always, you picked to say my pick, except for one. So while you two are over there gushing over Bobby Lashley, thinking he was going to destroy Goldberg, my boy came through So Goldberg did it for me, allowed me to beat James 8-7 at Crown Jewel, and once again become your personal champion. So James, kiss my ass. KG, sorry. Nothing.
See,
I haven't said it in a while, and I'm sure it's pretty apropos at this moment. Fuck you, Don.
there it is.
Yes.
There
Good
it
to
is.
know that I still got it. And we still together.
Still got it. Still got it. Still got it. Still got it. My Aunt Fanny, man. Get the
Hey, I'm waiting for you to get it, KG. God dang, you still keep doing these picks.
dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, you act like I didn't go on a run for like 6 months. I'd be
What?
letting you win.
What the heck was you running? But your gas up chasing after Jordan. I have no idea what you're talking about. There ain't with those 6 months worth of daggone picks. I mean, you can blame COVID and say that you would have if we would have done picks during those COVID times and stuff. But I have no idea what you're talking about, sir.
I ain't blaming nothing about on the COVIDical.
You ain't got the lie, Craig. You ain't got the lie. Well, let's go ahead and jump into Crown Jewel since we already know who got.
Spoiler alert.
Being myself. If you haven't seen it by now, then something's wrong. You definitely need to jump on Peacock.
Well, I haven't seen it because I've been busy.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time. You have one job.
No, I have several jobs.
One job. Watch Crown Jewel.
I have several. I'm sorry. I'm a normal American black male. I work on Thursdays during the day, but I kept up with it. I know who won. I just couldn't watch it. I got to drive because people don't want to come to work.
You can play it when you get home, right?
That ain't what I'm trying to play when I get home. Next question.
Well, obviously you ain't doing that. On PGA. Over there playing PGA and Grand Theft Auto. Need to be on that. You got one job.
You know what? I need to hide myself when I get online because you know a little too much.
Edge versus Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell. What'd you guys think of? I believe it was the 20th Hell in a Cell or something like that we've had of all time. Did it live up to the hype? Not so much of the storytelling first, but did it live up to the hype of a Hell in a Cell match? Did you get that same feels as Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels and down the road and stuff like that? All the plethora of Hell in a Cells that we've had, men and women. James, did it live up to your expectations as a Hell in a Cell match?
I think it did, and I also think that it helped Seth make up for that match that he had with the Fiend as well.
Yeah.
Because coming off of that match, folks was kind of looking down on him as to like how he's going to be able to do a match like this, and whatever. But yeah, I think it lived up to the mystique of the Hell in a Cell. It's up there. So I enjoyed that match. I thought it came off pretty well.
Yeah. I do as well. They had some good spots, especially that one with Seth Rollins off the cage through the table. I think it's becoming increasingly hard to find new and inventive spots to do in a Hell in a Cell these days, because
if you want to find a way to find new ways to work the cell, just put the women in there. Because
it'll be for the women, but I mean we've seen. Well, the last crazy thing I saw was when the women were putting the kendo sticks between the cage or tying them up and putting them in. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, I was getting ready to mention that. Yeah, because that was new to me. I've never seen that at all. So yeah,
I think some of that was the brainchild of Tyson Kidd. So he's always integral in the women's matches. So those type of things. Yeah, they have a little bit more room, but I mean for the most part it's. Every spot. I mean, if they bring out a table and a chair, it's pretty much going to go in certain places these days. So it was good to see that spot. It surprised me. So from the storytelling standpoint, James, what do you think about that?
I think, well, I mean, it was a proper ending to that. Well, I'm thinking it's a proper ending to that storyline. This should be the end of that storyline, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because I hope because they shouldn't have to stretch this any further. They need to move them on to somebody else, especially now that they're both moving to Raw now. So
Yeah,
give them somebody else to work with.
I agree. And Edge looked really good. Physically, looked like he was in probably the best shape he's been in since he's come back, in my opinion. He was a little bit leaner. He was toned. He was jacked up. I mean, he must have some push-ups, some band pulls, whatever. He looked like he was ready and he was in the zone to get this job done. And Seth Rollins is a consummate professional, so he just performed. And the fact that he could play off of Edge and the level that he was at, I mean, it was just through the roof. Just a good match.
Well, Ben says, I hope this is the end. My God, they stretched the hell out of this garbage.
All right, well,
Yeah.
speaking of stretching, KG, this was just a unanimous decision. So Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali, unfortunately, wasn't the end of anything. The match, though, was actually pretty solid. But the big question I want to ask you is, beyond that, do you really care about the storyline going forward, or can they find something for Mansoor to do to really make him a star in the U.S.?
Well, first and foremost, Ben says, speaking of garbage, Mansoor versus Ali. This is not a storyline. This doesn't have any implications outside of Saudi Arabia. But here's my thing. Why are you burying Mustafa Ali? I have a problem with that. He shouldn't be in a respect match. Come on now. You made him the head of the leader of what the hell was the BS faction that they had?
Nobody even cares.
Yeah, let's call it that. Nobody even cares.
That's how pointless the whole thing was. Like, even speaking the name of the faction was pointless because nobody got made out of that faction. Technically, with the exception of Ali, he got a name change and he got a lot more heat on him from the fans. But other than that, nobody was made out of that. It ran too long and it wasn't run properly.
The thing is, if it was something like the Nexus was good for what it was at the time because I hated the Nexus. So I'm like, yeah, they did their job.
Until somebody on John Cena.
That faction, Mustafa Ali is being buried. This match shouldn't have never happened. I'm sorry, but I know why it happened, but it shouldn't have never happened. And Ben says because WWE creative is disrespectful to the word creative. You damn right, Ben. Terrible.
Okay, spoiler alert. The Iconics have now made their first appearance in an Impact ring under their new name, The Inspiration.
Ah.
So they're entering the ring now for the tag team the Knockouts tag team championships against Rosemary and Havoc. So just figure out throw that in there.
Inspiration into all their promos. Iconics, it kind of worked. It was
it's inspiration with two eyes, just like they did with the Iconics. But they'll figure. I figure they figure it out. But yes, Perry, they are looking very good. Yes, they're looking really very good right now. Anyway, as far as Mansoor is concerned, you know what the deal is with that.
Yeah, but
they just put together something for him to be highlighted on this pay-per-view because he is the Undertaker of Crown Jewel.
Right. But what do we do with him now?
Nothing. You send him back to 205 Live, and when the next Crown Jewel comes up, they'll dig him back up, give him somebody else to go up against, and they'll keep it going.
So basically, when the deal is done,
same thing they did last time.
When the deal is done with the Saudi Arabia special that we know is Crown Jewel. Does that mean he's gonna get future endeavor?
I can't say that. I don't see why they would
Or
future
you
endeavoring,
think
but
they're gonna cash another check?
I mean, hey, they could future endeavor him. They could put the cruiserweight championship on him. Who knows?
Well, they could put the 205 Live Championship on him. Is there one? Because I'm still trying to figure out why that show exists.
No, 205 Live is just another main event.
That's 205 Championship. Oh well.
No 205. That was the cruiserweight championship, but then they said that to NXT.
I know. I'm just pulling pranks and joking because there's really nothing, unfortunately, for him to do. I mean, he's a good look, seemingly a good worker, great athleticism. He just has no personality that resonates through the screen.
Well, like I said, he has one job. Future MLW roster member. That could happen.
Maintain our relationship. One job.
Hey, look, MLW. Well, I'm giving away some of my segment, but MLW just signed Enzo Amore, so
took him long enough.
So why not add him Mansoor to the MLW roster?
All right, KG, this is your team. RK Bro versus AJ Styles and Omos. I will say that from when he first debuted till now, we're starting to see the growth of Omos as a big performer. Now, his catchphrase is still, "This is my house," which I think Paige, if she ever returns, please let it happen. She'll have an issue with that. But the way he worked the match with Orton and Riddle, I mean, he did what a big man is supposed to do in that position, in that type of match. AJ fed him a little bit with, do you want more? Yeah, do this, do that. So that way it could continue to highlight him as, let's just call it a spade, a giant in the industry. We're going to use some of the old terminology. So I thought the match was good. We all knew who was going to walk away with the belt just because at that point they were still, in my opinion, the most entertaining part of Monday Night Raw. Nothing diminishing from AJ Styles because does he need the tag championships again? No. But I think they have him still schooling Omos so that way when the split happens, AJ could go ahead and maybe do one more heavyweight championship run or Intercontinental, whatever he wants to do. And Omos can be on his own with his personality, be able to grow and do what he needs to do to become a true big man heel on any brand that they want to put him on. But KG, what do you think?
I agree with Perry. A black man saying this is my house. Real creative. That's not creative at all.
Well, that was just him. It wasn't creative putting it out there.
It's cringeworthy.
What he was saying in the match.
It's cringeworthy.
That's just all he's saying in the match. At least he said a little bit more this time, but that's his saying.
I think it sounds more like the Kimbe. No, not in my house. That's the first thing I think
at the same time, on the same vein, we're still talking about Mutombo. We're still talking about the commercials.
Wait.
All that stuff.
Wait.
What?
Number one, you always gonna talk about Mutombo. Iconic. Should have been on the 75 great. We're not even gonna get into that.
Don't even go there. I know that is a hotbed topic that y'all are gonna get into probably for another 7 daggone shows this week. So I wasn't even gonna bring that up.
Hoya. That's all I got to say. Hoya Soxa.
Did they put the Killer Bees on that list?
Moving right along.
All right, moving right along. You know they still are producers, right? So, KG, I know you're excited about this match, Doudrop and Zelina Vega. I was really, really worried when Doudrop beat Shayna. Really worried. No disrespect to Piper Niven, but I don't like this Doudrop character. And if Doudrop would have became Queen of the Ring, I would have lost it. But I think finally they gave Zelina her due for whatever reason. because truthfully, we all picked Shayna Baszler to become Queen of the Ring. But Zelina Vega is not only Queen of the Ring, but she is part of history in the lexicon of WWE because she is the first ever Queen of the Ring, and that's something no matter where her husband is or what she's doing, anybody could take away from her. So she could be a jobber forever, but she is still the first, which pretty much clinches her as being a guaranteed Hall of Famer. Period. Dot. But I mean, tell me what you guys thought of the match. I mean, I thought it flowed well. The ending surprised me. I didn't think she was going to be able to pull off that sunset bomb, but she did, and it looked believable. And Doudrop actually did pretty good.
Yes, she did. I think she did all right, but she Piper Niven, as she's been known in the WWE before she became Doudrop,
Yeah, NXT,
and even before
UK.
she, and then even before she got into WWE, she's been out there and doing her thing. So, I knew she'd be capable. She's not new into the business, so I knew
Right.
she was capable. But yeah, for her for now being that code red is an assisted move, for them to have pulled that off and made it convincing and to be as clean as it was, yeah, that was good on both of their parts to get pulled that off.
Yep.
But more so for Doudrop because Doudrop is the one who has to, make the effort to get in position to make pull that move off. So yeah,
go ahead.
I'm happy for Zelina, especially since she went through all the stuff and ended up losing her job for a while, coming back, having to build herself up again. So yeah, I'm happy for her. It's a good thing, and we'll probably see more of her Aaliyah, Queen of the Damned type situation. When it comes to her being Queen of the Ring now. So yeah, we'll see what costuming she comes up, cosplay she comes up with.
Now, see that right there, James. That right there. See, I can always count on you thinking along the lines that I'm thinking.
Because I can go with the Mortal Kombat, but
no. When you talk about the Queen, there is no higher queen. I don't care about the Queen of England. There's no higher queen than Queen Akasha. Always remember that. Like that's
cheap pop.
Ain't no cheap pop, man. That Queen is so powerful. I named my daughter after her. The Queen of all who are damned. Thank you, Anne Rice. Forever love for you because of that. That right there.
Have mercy.
It's gonna be something.
Train of thought just because you went there.
Oh, don't be there.
Look, I got my train of thought back. Not the best render for Goldberg because he looks like Oldberg. He almost looks like Gilbert a little bit in the face. Not the best render. Good job, WWE, for that one. Bobby looks like about 15 years ago when he first came onto the scene, like an extra baby face. That smooth dome.
He looks like Jesse Ventura right there.
Yep. So, a couple things with this match. First, I thought it was funny because I had an Ultimate Warrior flashback because Goldberg was gassed by the time he got to the ring. I have no idea how that happened because he didn't beat his head on the wall. There was no blood. You could tell he was gassed by the time he got there. I don't know if it was the 2 punches and the kick after the pyro, but he was gassed. Bobby was on point the entire time. Goldberg looked good. He leaned up. I mean, he was in great physical condition. And I think finally he has broken free, in my opinion, with his performance at Crown Jewel. He broke free of everything else that was negative, in my opinion. You guys can tell me if you agree or disagree that happened the other times he was at Crown Jewel. From, getting concussed and knocked out to just not the best match with Brock. I mean, he did a damn good job this time. Like almost if it was a championship match, I would consider giving him the belt. Almost. But, we got to keep it on Bobby if we could. So I was happy with it. But tell me what you guys think. I mean, it was my, winning decision when it came down to the picks. But other than that, KG, James, thoughts?
I got two thoughts. Number one is about you. I can see you. I just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
We can see you.
We can see you. You can't see us.
Exactly.
Apparently.
But
So
does your shoulder hurt from patting yourself on the back so much?
I don't know. Let me think.
Like Barry Horowitz and shit.
I can't feel it. Let me take my shirt off. Maybe I can get there.
No, Gorilla Monsoon said a pat on the back is only 18 inches away from a kick in the ass. So,
Well, let me cover my ass while I'm patting myself on the back in case you come too close, James. Watch yourself.
But I'm going to say this. No matter how good Goldberg looked in this match, I don't give a damn if it was for the title. If they would have put the title on Goldberg, getting it off of Lashley, I think I'd have stopped watching wrestling. I'd have been just running the board and be like, man, y'all talk. I ain't got nothing to say. I'd have lost all faith in WWE because it's not good.
Yeah. On a side note, have you guys been watching Roads? Was it Roads to the Top? It Roads to the Top, right? The reality show.
Hell no.
Well, first of all, you should watch it.
I ain't watching that shit.
First of all, you should watch it. The reason why is the question I wanted to ask is comparing this versus Total Divas. KG, have you watched it?
No, sir. I prefer Total Divas anyway.
All right. I challenge y'all to watch a couple episodes. Now, one thing they are doing really good is that the content that they're putting in the episodes is not like they filmed this a long time ago. It's actually recent stuff. Like the episode that showed today, I'm like, how the heck are we already talking about Cody and Malachi when not too long ago they were talking about this? Like they just inserted almost what's really happening in real time versus TV time into it, and that's what the show is. But the reason why I want to challenge y'all just on this sidebar to look at it, because I want you to think about watching it, and as you're watching it, compare it to Total Divas, and come back probably next week and answer the question, is it giving too much away of the business? Is the curtain pulled too far back? Because in my opinion, I'd say yes, just because some of the people and some of the interactions, we shouldn't be, I know kayfabe is dead, but I don't think we should be seeing it versus Total Divas where you would just have a couple, there's so-and-so in the hallway, there's so-and-so in the hallway, but the reality part was still not so much in the WWE arenas. It was at the pool or at the restaurant or wherever. It was basically, Kardashian-esque.
Wait, back up.
Go ahead.
I apologize in advance for my phrasing and my wording. The fuck you just say?
I don't know what I said. Which part?
Did you say kayfabe is dead?
Yeah.
Don't ever utter those words again.
It's dead. It's
not. Kayfabe is dead.
There's no getting around it.
Kayfabe has been flatlined a long time ago.
In my closet, I would keep a little candle burning, hoping that it would come back. But like I said, that's why I want you to watch the show. Watch a couple episodes, or at least just watch the episode that just aired today, and then watch it, and then be like, man, let me know. Send the messages and let me know if you think they are showing too much.
Perry say kayfabe is dead too. Well,
first of all, I'm gonna leave that section to y'all because I've never watched one episode of Total Divas. Don't plan to.
James,
I don't plan on watching
Divas. Now
you would love Total Divas.
I don't plan on watching Road to the Top because I know it's going. Even with the way they do being the elite, and the way they've done, and the way that they do all of the other stuff, there's too much going on. Exposing the business anyway. So
this and BTE are two totally different productions in reference to content. Totally different, night and day. Totally different.
Okay, let me ask you this: you pushing Rose to the top so hard. Are you watching Heels?
I'm not pushing it to like it. I'm just really want you to watch it from a critique standpoint for, I don't know, journalism potential and conversation potential, and maybe a segment next week on
that sound like
content.
homework. That sound like homework.
It's an hour,
Right? Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you know,
I can't watch Rose to the Top. Just from the commercials, it's nothing that I want to deal with. You know, I'm gonna leave that to you two. See, I mean, plus you're trying to make the comparison between that and Total Divas, and I've never watched Total Divas, so
You missed
that's
a
more
lot with Total
the
Divas.
the point.
I tell you what, y'all be the anchor people. And I'll be the weatherman over here. I ain't gonna get involved in your shit. If you don't come over here and tell me when it's gonna start raining, okay?
Well, the good news is nobody really cares about the weatherman, except
Wait.
for Bob Kirk.
What?
Right. That's why I'm
No.
I since I don't care about Rose to the Top or the Total Divas, I'll be over here, doing my meteorology thing.
Bob Kirk had the California Raisins and the Temptations. We was getting it in.
No. It's all about Tom.
I'll be like this. I'll be like, yes, I'm Ron Burgundy. Keep it classy.
Y'all need to look that up. Y'all know about that. Y'all know that there boy. Shoot. That was more popular than Go-Go.
Here you go with that bull. Perry said it's not bad, less Real Housewives than Divas.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean,
I don't watch any of that reality TV shit, so I'll let y'all have that.
See, the thing is, Total Divas was fun to watch because it was all about
Total Divas for the content. Show of hands. I can't see anybody, so that's why I said that.
Exactly, but now
that's like sure nobody's hand was up.
No, that's like Real Housewives of Atlanta. Only reason why I used to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta just to see Phaedra every week. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to see Phaedra. That was it.
You was marking out over Phaedra?
Young, she was a lawyer and she owned a funeral home.
And she married a convict, and see what that got her.
They divorced now.
Yeah, but that's the oxymoron of it.
But at least I knew I had a chance.
The one person that should see or had the education to see the writing on the wall, nope.
Hey, the heart was what it wants.
I watched it. I'll admit it. I watched it for Nene because she was over there. I watched it for my girl Sheree because I just wanted to hear her say, "Well, check me, boo." And also, I was also wondering when the heck Sheba Sheree was coming out. That was the longest running joke. Springfall. Or as they used to say back in the day, Shade by Andy Cohen. So Sheree, when's Sheba Sheree coming out? We're still working on it, Andy. Like, God dang.
Springfall. Even Perry agreed with me. Phaedra was the only reason why I watched. Daggone right, Perry.
Whatever.
Phaedra
and then the third thing.
Perry, don't fall into this bullshit. We talking about we really having this discussion right now.
What's it, Kim? When Nene and Kim would go back and forth, they were damn near cussing at each other. That almost took me back to Flavor of Love when what was the white girl name? Not saying it that way. What was it?
We're really having this discussion
Pumpkin,
right now.
Pumpkin,
when
she spit on New York.
Ooh, boy, I was ready to go out there. If I was a girl, I would have punched the first non-dark-skinned person I saw. It didn't matter what nationality you were, but just right in there.
We gotta go because we going down a rabbit hole.
Going down a rabbit hole, y'all digging y'all's own shit.
Just say, well, James, if you ain't gonna be part of it, did you say you was gonna stay over there in the corner? Look at your little meteorologist, Doppler radar, and all that stuff. Stay out of our stuff.
Look, this is a fucking wrestling show. If y'all want to damn talk about Real Housewives and all that other bullshit, you get with BJ and make another damn show. Get off that shit.
James, don't you have a segment?
I do, but y'all over there talking on y'all's own shit.
There was a point to the whole thing. Since you ain't gonna watch it,
nah, wasn't no point to that. There's no point to any of those shows.
We're gonna give you what it was about. So that way, when you leave here and your brain, you'll be thinking about what the heck we just talked about.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
I don't know what Ben said.
My point exactly.
Nobody know what Ben said.
Ben said, "Call me when the wrestling talk happens on the wrestling show."
Right.
Well, Ben, As long as you've been watching this show, you know that this is bound to happen. Don't you act brand new on us, Ben. You know what goes down. Tell him, KG.
KG going to warm up his hot pocket.
Did we lose KG? The one time I give him a Road Warriors opportunity, he misses the mark. One job. Is he back yet?
No, not yet. But go ahead.
So wait a minute. He left you by yourself to your own devices with me?
Who are you?
What happened?
You missed your Road Warrior segue. So now we're just gonna call it the Killer Bees moment that was missed.
I can hear everything you were saying. Come on, move on. Move on.
Well, currently, right now, we're gonna let James go ahead and have his moment, since obviously he's about to explode in his pants. So go ahead and talk about a wrestling moment between Xavier Woods and Finn Balor.
Well, it was a good match between the two. I mean, this is their first time meeting in singles, right?
Oh, and we're done. So, Big E versus Drew.
Dirty.
Drew McIntyre. Oh, look, Big E won. KG, how you feel about that?
It's what needed to happen, but this won't be the last time you see Big E and Drew McIntyre go toe to toe.
Unfortunately, we'll talk about that news at 11. Maybe there'll be some sports involved from punk ass James.
Oh, him mad because him can't talk about Total Divas no more. Oh, him butt hurt because he can't talk about his reality. Him can't talk about him reality TV. Oh.
So Becky, Bianca, and Sasha Banks. Becky coming out still with the championship. All right, James, I'll let you talk.
That's all right.
Good. So Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. We all felt that Roman was going to walk out. We knew that was going to be some shenanigans. As I said last week, you can tell me if you agree or disagree. This is WrestleMania. That's the culmination of this feud. If you guys think of a better time to end it, go ahead and speak it.
I agree.
And Ben says, isn't Drew going to SmackDown?
Drew is going to SmackDown. Yes. Yeah, he's already arrived in SmackDown. So yeah, we probably the only way Big E and Drew will get together again is if Drew wins the title on SmackDown from Roman and they meet at Survivor Series.
So that was Crown Jewel. Another pay-per-view won by me. Drink some more, James. We ain't done with this show yet. You're going to need it. Liquid Courage is running strong.
This show going on or not.
Is that water?
Sparkling water.
Oh, God. We're going to have to up the ante.
Cherry lime. Cranberry lime.
You know what that means, right?
No, what?
Only the finest sparkling water for the one, the only Nubian Sumo coming up.
KG, don't put him over.
No. This has to be said. It has to be said. Only the best for the Nubian Sumo. Because this is a great segue to his segment called Ladies and Gentlemen.
Wait, no, he does not get one this time. Because he was talking bad about what we was talking about. We try and have a dialogue, and now you will go ahead and put him over for the second time. Don't Steve Harvey him tonight. Do your damn segment, Weatherman, and make sure you point to some shit and show that it's moving and there's a current going this way. Oh, dang it, that way. You know, you the weatherman, so I don't know which way to hold the camera. All I see is green screen and stuff.
I'm not giving you another. I've already given you one, but you know what I'm thinking, motherfucker.
You're the ugliest weatherman. God dang, man. We need some women up in here.
Hey, I ain't as ugly as Dave Chappelle on there, but hey, kiss the ring, bitch.
No, you need to see the weatherman down here. Dude look just like Beetlejuice. So
we're going to start out with New Japan Pro Wrestling. New Japan had their closeout show, their go home show for the G1 Climax, where they did have the final. One match that did show up on that card was an exhibition match between Zack Sabre Jr. and Katsuyori Shibata. Now that match has some significance because Katsuyori Shibata was injured in a match back in 2017 that took him out of the ring. But when New Japan decided to open up their LA dojo again, they had him. They tapped him as to lead it and to run it. So he's been dealing with the New Japan Young Lions out of LA here for the past 3 years, doing a pretty good job on that. And so he's had an exhibition. They had a 5-minute exhibition match, where there was no countouts, no pins, no submissions. It was just pretty much them kind of wrestling around and doing their thing and whatnot, which is a pretty good exhibition, especially being that both of them are so technical and so skilled and whatnot. So this is leading up to him saying at the end of the match that the next time he is in a ring, he will be in his gear and it will be an actual match. So now we're looking forward to seeing him back in the ring. I know when I first got a hold of watching him, he was in some matches with Tomohiro Ishii that were the essence of Japanese strong style. So I mean, I really enjoyed watching him wrestle, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him again real soon. Now, the finals of the G1 Classic was the main event of the evening, which had the Block A winner, Kota Ibushi, who wound up going through all of that tiebreaker stuff. That 4-way tiebreaker that I talked about, right. Which he had like one of the lesser opportunities, or lesser chances of getting in through all those tiebreakers. He wound up winning the A block, and Okada wound up winning the B block by beating Jeff Cobb to get into this final. So they wound up going. It was a no time limit match, which is different from the rest of the matches during the tournament because they were usually 30 minutes each. But there's no time limit on the final for the G1. So they wound up going about a good 25, 30 minutes. But then Ibushi came off of the top rope to try to Phoenix Splash onto Okada, and landed on his arm wrong and dislocated his shoulder. So they wound up stopping the match due to injury, and Okada wound up winning the G1. Now he's already been challenged by the one person that ended up beating him, which is Tama Tonga from the Gorillas of Destiny. So there will be a card that will be coming up here soon. Actually, it's on November the 6th, which will be the Power Struggle event, and they've already got the match card put together. And most of this night will be title matches. So this is going to be a night of champions pretty much for Power Struggle. They pretty much got every title within New Japan set up for this pay-per-view. And I'll go through those matches. The Never Openweight 6-man championship will have Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto, the champions, going up against Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and Evil from Bullet Club, or the House of Torture, which is the sub division, the sub club within Bullet Club, sub faction. You have Toru Yano, who is the provisional King of Pro Wrestling title holder at this point, going up against the Great Okan from United Empire. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, you have the champion Robbie Eagles going up against El Desperado from Suzuki-gun. For the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, Hiroshi Tanahashi, the champion, will go up against Kenta, of which at the last show there was a 6-man tag that included Chase Owens and Kenta, who are kind of going back and forth as to who would be the one to go up against Tanahashi first between them. But since Chase Owens was like, well, I need to go home for a while and, get myself together. So you go ahead and take this first title shot. And when I get back, I'll get mine. So there was no real going back and forth between them on that, which was good because there's already a bunch of stuff going on within Bullet Club as it is. Now, as I said, for the rights to challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which, as you know, Okada will be carrying around a briefcase just like Money in the Bank, right? And defend it, and you'll have to defend this at least 2 or 3 times before Wrestle Kingdom. So his first defense will be against Tama Tonga on this show, and then in the main event for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Shingo Takagi, the champion, will go up against Zack Sabre Jr. So that should be an interesting card. Like I said, a lot of championship matches. Pretty much all the titles within New Japan are going to be represented in this card. So that'll be an interesting card to watch. Now, going on to Impact, as we talked about and have already let you all know about, Impact has their Bound for Glory pay-per-view going on as we speak. We've already had the Iconics, as I said, going up against the Knockouts Tag Team Champions Rosemary and Havoc, and the Iconics now call themselves the Inspiration, and the Inspiration have won that match. So as Perry put up on in his comments a little while ago, so we have new tag team champions in the Inspiration, and we'll see what happens with them going forward. Now, also on this card was let me see, who was it that was wrestling first? Oh, that must have been the first match. So no, I'm sorry. The first match was the Digital Media Championship. Now, they've put together this almost like like Zack Ryder's Internet Championship. They've put together a Digital Media Championship that had John Skyler, Chelsea Green, Jordan Grace, Crazy Steve, Falaba, and Madison Rain in a 6-way match. So as you can see, you had some women, you had some men in the match, and your winner of that match was Jordan Grace.
Wasn't that Sister KG?
Jordan Grace is now your new champion for that. Now, as far as
you back.
As far as the matches go on this card, you got your Call Your Shot Gauntlet, which will be a 20-man battle royal, pretty much Royal Rumble style. They had a match on last Thursday between Chris Sabin and W. Morrissey, the former Big Cass from WWE, and Sabin wound up getting pinned by Morrissey. So Morrissey will be the 20th entrant into this gauntlet, with Sabin going in first. You got the tag team championships that'll be on the line with the Good Brothers, the champions, going up against Finjuice and Hikuleo and Chris Bay from the Bullet Club. You've got the X Division Championship that was given up for Option C by Josh Alexander. So Steve Macklin, which is a former member of the Unforgotten Son. What is it? The Sons, Unforgotten Sons. The three guys that were the WWE.
The Rodney Sons. Was it Rodney Sons, something like that?
No, it was the Unforgotten, the Unforgiven Sons, or something of that nature. Okay, so Trey Miguel and El Phantasmo are going to be in that match. And as Perry just said, Unforgotten Sons. Okay. And as Perry just put up, Trey Miguel just won the X Division title. So he's the new X Division champion. You have Deonna Purrazzo, who will be defending the Knockouts Championship against Mickie James tonight. And in the main event, Christian Cage will be going up against Josh Alexander for the Impact World Championship. Now, also, going to MLW, we talked about on last week how Tajiri won the MLW middleweight championship. There was a story that came out where he is back in All Japan with the belt and was taking pictures with their Triple Crown champion of All Japan. So there's looking like there's going to be a relationship between All Japan and Major League Wrestling coming up in the near future. So I'll keep you posted on that as developments come up on that. There's also going to be a ladder match. There's going to be a big card for them on November 6th at the 2300 Arena with a ladder match for the National Openweight Championship that was given up by Alexander Hammerstone when he won their World Championship. You've got Alex Shelley, Myron Reed, who's a former two-time middleweight champion, Alex Kane, who was a former mixed martial artist that's with America Top Team, and a guy named Senshi, which is a guy that's a wrestler out of Brazil, masked wrestler out of Brazil. And there's going to be a wild card entrant of which they have not named yet. So we'll see what happens there. The November 6th will also be the debut, as I said earlier, of Enzo Amore, who just signed with MLW. So we'll see what happens there and who he goes up against. And on their last show, the IWA Caribbean Championship was defended by Richard Hamilton, and he wound up losing that belt to King Muertes. And if you remember Mil Muertes from Lucha Underground, this is the same guy. They just changed his name from Mil Muertes to King Muertes. Okay. Now, the finals of the Opera Cup will be going on that card as well. So that'll be a card to be looking forward to. And I'm sure it'll be on Fight TV, and it'll end up being on Vice probably again. So you can be looking for that. Now, tonight also, as I mentioned earlier, Game Changer Wrestling is having a show tonight called War Ready, and this will be going on. Hope if it's not happening already, it will be going on. Richard Holiday, Richard Holiday from earlier. I was messing his name up. There's going to be a few interesting matches on there. Nick Gage, who is like their John Cena. He's the most popular guy there, and you remember seeing him on his version of the Dark Side of the Ring. So you got Nick Gage going up against Minoru Suzuki. You've got Jacob Fatu and one of his cousins that just signed with MLW, Juicy, going up against Chris Dickinson and Starboy Charlie, which is their Mikey Whipwreck pretty much. He's playing that. Starboy Charlie's playing that role. And then also you're going to have Jonathan Gresham versus Alex Zane, who's the guy who was in NXT for a little while. It was pretty good. And I was just getting it out, saving that for last, bruh. And the Briscoes are coming from Ring of Honor to come wrestle against the Second Gear Crew, who was their tag team champions. So don't be texting each other over there. What the fuck y'all doing? What y'all giggling about?
Don't blame me. Blame you. Is it that way you manage it?
I ain't doing nothing.
I'm over there texting and giggling like fucking little girls and shit. You know, okay, I'm done. Go ahead. That was it. I'm done.
No, I found something that you might be interested in, so you might have to check that.
He
Because
said
it was,
too, James.
yeah, I sent it to you too. It was about what you was talking about.
And it's only something he would send.
Only something out, but it's
wait for
relevant
it.
to what James was talking about.
Wait for it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah, yeah.
So
Very
if you chasing the gram and you got the Instagrams, then as you can see KG's reflection in the Ring of Honor photo set as he's taking a picture of Jordynne Grace in her championship outfit.
I'm not even going to address that. Perry say, so glad to see the Briscoes wrestling outside of Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
and damn right. I wasn't trying to throw you off. It was relevant to what you were talking about. Hey, look, I'm just trying to do my journalistic duty, and I had to share that with you.
When you have two anchors and what was you again? Oh yeah, that's right, the weatherman.
Yeah, I'm the weatherman.
Yeah, that's right. You always bring rain.
Yeah.
So it's snow.
I make it rain.
No, you don't.
I make it rain. Right.
Hey, you know what? That's the new hand sign when James come on for. That's so new. That's just Nubian. Just get the dollars and just let them go. But see, James got that long money, so he dropped 10s and stuff. So
20s.
Oh shit! Damn, I might want to go to the club with you, man. You know, I might step on a few of them 20s and pull them things back. All right, moving right along.
Is the weatherman done?
I said I was done.
No, okay. Because I got in trouble, so I have to apologize to you, James. I'm sorry, James. I really like you, James. You are a nice person. I cannot be mean to you at all, James. I promise I will be nice to the geriatric person on the show. And obviously you fit the bill.
What was that? Oh, you got the call? They made it? Yeah, I just found out they got there. Okay. Good job. Checks in the mail.
Dementia, KG Dementia. You know you're talking nobody. You got tiki. You got unused tiki torches back.
Oh, you didn't know that? You probably didn't notice the red dot that was on your head. That's why you made that apology.
That's racist. That's a cultural thing, young man.
No, I'm not talking about that kind of red dot.
He ain't talking about that. I know when he said red dot, I immediately knew what he meant.
You played enough video games to know what I'm talking about.
Let me go and finish this hard slide. It says Perry asked me to take my shirt off.
No, Perry did not.
Yes, he did. He brought it up. That's all right. I keep my shirt on, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna make sure the room gets dark.
We can't have him make that promise, Perry, because that would be a bald-faced lie.
What? Not necessarily. If the wife is sitting next to him and she's in the house, we're good.
No, she's been there before and had to beat him up for it. So no, that don't work neither.
Because she's there now, and you about to poke the bear. It was about to happen.
No, we're gonna move on. That's what we're gonna do. Because look here, ain't got time to be.
Two pieces of conversation. Then we can let the old man go pee, and then KG you go play something. I ain't playing no PGA.
Yes. Please stay right next to him so he keep his clothes on, sis. Please.
Yes, stay right beside him.
Please.
As a matter of fact, just so we know that you're there, smack him in the back of the head.
You better not. I'll post your picture. What are we talking about next?
You put in the notes of SmackDown. Now, see, I was kind of confused about this. I'm like, are we talking about the very first SmackDown? Because I would love to talk about that with you guys.
No. This is the series. This is the season, like the season premiere for SmackDown, right?
Well, they call it several different things now, but yes. Which technically they've done this twice already this year, but we're not going to go there. And really it's supposed to happen after WrestleMania, but thanks to Fox asserting themselves and trying to make this more television. Hey Perry, don't be hating, man. You need to stop. This will become a regular thing.
No, it will not.
Yeah, it will.
I'm not paying FCC fines. No, thank you, sir.
Okay. I got enough. Y'all keep poking the bear. Every single show, every opening crawl, every chance I get, I'm gonna insert some nakedness to the point to where you really get a total D. All right.
So moving right along, you said, but see, when you threw me along,
Did you watch the show, KG?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Did you watch
You
the
threw me
show?
off when you said series premiere, because when you said series premiere, that's the very first episode back in '99. Great episode, still got it on VHS.
That's good.
So that's what I thought you wanted to talk about.
No, we're gonna talk about that.
I guess that wasn't it. So okay, let's talk about last night.
Because after a 2-week delay on the daggone draft, which was pointless, by the way, just so that way they can float people in the crown jewel and have them do whatever they planned on have them do. Now we come to full arms of SmackDown. The biggest issue that was to be had, or the scuttlebutt, was on the women's side with the wrong championship being on the wrong show. We kind of touched on it earlier, but now the right championship's on the right brand. But overall, well, first of all, AJ, did you watch the show? That'd be your second job. You had two. Watch Crown Jewel.
I've had several jobs this week.
SmackDown comes on when you get home, so watch SmackDown.
No, I don't get home most nights until 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Back in the day, there was a thing called TiVo. It was revolutionary.
Yeah.
Then somehow the cable companies got smart and said, we can undercut TiVo and just build this into our cable boxes and call it DVR. Have you heard of the DVRs?
Yes, I do.
Because there's a button on there that says series.
Right.
Automatically record for you.
But what you don't understand is I got to catch highlights because I got to get up in the morning to work all day again. Then I have to come home on a Saturday.
What time did you get up this morning?
What time did I get up? Or how long have I been up? Because I've been up since about 5
this morning.
I've been up since about 5.
Doing what?
Trying to go to hell back to sleep.
See, you could have watched SmackDown.
Yeah, and not go to sleep.
You got to work anyway. That's what I did.
It's the 6 months of the year where I got insomnia, so it ain't no sleep.
I got my candy ass up early and watched SmackDown and fast forward through the commercials.
Oh, no, I don't have to do that. My cable box does it for me.
Oh, so now you got a hot tech cable box that you can't watch, right? Either way, James, did you at least watch the show?
I watched it today, yes.
Thank God. Finally, somebody.
I wish you would have said no, James. I want to see was he going to give you the business too. I wish you would have said no.
James been getting the business all day.
I get the business anyway from him, regardless of what I do. So,
And I got a bone to pick too, but go on.
Pick your bone. Because you ain't watched the show, so we got to give you something to talk about.
No. Finish this segment and I'll pick my bone.
All right, James, what did you think of the show, sir?
First of all, I don't want to see you picking your bone. Okay. You keep that to yourself. Second of all, I thought the show was pretty good. I thought the Roman Reigns segment was pretty decent. It's moving it's continuing that storyline with Brock Lesnar and still not giving any insight as to what direction Heyman is going in.
But you can book it. It's going to come down to almost a Heyman on a pole match. It'd be like Judy Bagwell up there on the lift again.
Oh my God! Not Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Make a choice at WrestleMania, and that choice is still going to be a coin flip. We'll probably talk about that as we get closer to, but that's really what's going to come down to. The championship is going to be determined by Paul Heyman and what motion he makes in that match.
But he already said it though. He's already given it away. He will leave with the Universal Champion. So
And Paul
whenever
Heyman ways.
wins it, if he wins it, whenever he wins it, he'll leave with Brock.
All right, KG, I was thinking about this doing Crown Jewel. I was thinking about it last night doing a show you didn't watch, or today as well doing a show you didn't watch. Now, I know you have not been the biggest fan of Brock Lesnar having a championship. You have aired this out multiple times, over and over and over. How long have you been doing the show?
August 25th made 3 years.
3 years you've been hating on Brock Lesnar.
Hating.
He is a pretty damn good face right now. Are you going to be okay with him beating Roman Reigns?
No, because let me start from the beginning. I've never been a hater because it's not in my nature. I'm only stating facts. I can't deal with the part-time. Right there.
I see what you're saying, Chris.
Right there. Why would I put the belt on a part-timer that's only going to... I hated Hogan when Hogan did it in the 80s. Why do I want to see somebody do it now that I'm 40 years old?
What was that Nubian sumo motion he was doing for his segment? What was that again? Yeah, what was that? Okay, now just make those $100 bills. That's why.
They ain't got Nubian sumo money.
Well, I mean, when you talk about 350.
But I don't care. That part-timer only defending the belt 30 days because that's what's in the contract. Every 30 days defend the belt. That part-time, I can't. I understand Brock got his own thing.
What if The Rock beat Roman Reigns?
Boom.
He's even more part-time than Brock.
It would not work unless The Rock's going to come back and do a whole tour and he's going to go 3-4 months on Raws.
I guarantee you watch every SmackDown The Rock was on, 7 a.m., 5 a.m., 3 a.m.
But the thing is,
come back right now, you'd be glued to the TV.
But here's the thing.
Marking out
here's
for
the
The
thing.
Rock.
If The Rock came back right now, he came back right now, they put the belt on. I wouldn't have to worry about him walking away.
Get your thoughts together.
No, I can't. But he wouldn't walk away. He wouldn't walk away tonight, and I don't see him again until the next pay-per-view. He wouldn't walk away and say, you know what? I'll be back whenever I come back. That's not The Rock. He's going to be there all the way.
That was old Rock. He going to pull a John Cena. You got about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I'm out. I got another movie to promote. We doing Fast and Furious 85. Was it? Calvin and Hobbs 82? Jungle.
Did you say
Book
Calvin 2? And Hobbs?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God.
You caught that. I'm glad you caught that.
One of my favorite comic strips, to be honest.
But you would still be like, heck yeah. You'd be out there cutting promos, wearing the belt everywhere.
But see, here's the thing.
All for it.
If Brock came back and gave me 4 months, dedicated 4 months.
Who says he won't?
If he came back and did that as champion, I'd be fine with it. And then he dropped the belt after 4 months and go back to UFC. I'm good with that.
If Fox was going to cut a check so that way the WWE could get CM Punk, you don't think they would cut a check to beat USA and help subsidize for Brock Lesnar?
Brock still ain't going to wrestle. Brock is making so much money sitting on his ass, he's not going to wrestle.
Imagine how much – he doesn't have to wrestle every week. He just needs to show up.
Yeah, but
do what he did last night and leave.
Is he going to show up every week? He's not going to go city to city, town to town, and show up.
He's politicking now.
Okay. I get what you're saying about WWE. I get what you're saying about what he did in the past. Yes, that was annoying as hell. Okay, but going to my point, old school, you had a champion that defended the belt once every 3 months. That's all you have to do. Right. The champions, you shouldn't have to have your champion wrestle, every week. You don't need that. That's for faces. I mean, Brock is a face right now because he has no choice but to be a face, but he's not really a face.
He's a Stone Cold hero and anti-hero.
Right. So, I mean, for me, Brock coming in, like I said before, Brock comes in maybe every couple weeks, every 3 weeks, cuts a promo, F5 somebody right quick, we don't see him for another couple weeks. I'm fine with that because Brock is an attraction. Brock
Correct.
Lesnar is the modern day Andre the Giant. You're not supposed to see, you weren't supposed to see Andre the Giant every week.
But I
You weren't
did.
supposed to see him.
Well, not every week, but
Yeah, you
saw
weren't supposed
Chris.
to see him every week. But Andre the Giant is an attraction. Was an attraction. Brock Lesnar is an attraction. You don't want your attraction to be on often to where he loses his luster.
Hold on. Put yourself in my shoes. And I agree with you, Perry. Attraction shouldn't hold belts. And Christopher says, well, if Roman would lose the belt, who would he drop it to and have it make sense? That's a good damn question. Brock is not one of those people.
What?
Ben says The Rock is more watchable than Lesnar. Perry also says his contract says he won't. Not happening. And Andre didn't hold the title. Remember that run that Andre had? It didn't count. But now put yourself in my shoes. And granted, I'm looking at this not as a 40-year-old man. I'm looking at this as a kid, a wide-eyed, bright-eyed kid that's getting up ready to watch superstars and dying to see Hogan every week because Hogan's my man. I got to see Hogan. I see Sting and Ric Flair every night. I got to see Hogan. I got to see Hogan. I got to see Hogan. I never see Hogan on Superstars. I see Papa Shango. I see the Ultimate Warrior.
You didn't see him wrestling all the time on Superstars, but they did.
You saw Hogan on Superstars maybe once.
You saw Hogan on Superstars.
No,
now, you may not remember because you were probably 3 and waiting for your Lucky Charms commercial to come on so you can figure out what happened at the end of this little summer series. Did he get the Lucky Charms or not? I don't know. We just got to wait and find out. Oh, dang, it's going to take a long time to August. But he was on at some faction on Superstars. But that's then. You had longer attention span. We had storylines that were built for a long time.
So it's creative.
Now we're talking short attention span. Now we're talking T-shirt sales. They're talking big money. Money's going to always talk. What does that say, James? We can't see.
CAO Bones.
Oh, see. Okay, I couldn't. All right, I see it now.
Yeah. But that's how I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this like that because I love Brock. Don't get me wrong. I love Brock. Always have. Because he does his job. I want to see more of him. I feel like a child that's missing his dad sometimes. Like, I want to see more of him because he's just that damn good. And if you're going to put the belt on him, give me a fighting champion. I'm used to fighting champions. I'm used to seeing Triple H, Stone Cold, The Rock, Bret Hart. I'm used to seeing those champions, Shawn Michaels. I'm used to seeing those guys. Even Cena. I saw Cena every week, sometimes 3-4 times a week.
You a line and a half.
That's the problem. That's the problem. See, you come from an era where that happened. They defended it. They had title defenses like once a week, every 2 weeks. You know, I came from an era where that champion, yes, he was defending that belt, but he was defending it everywhere. You only saw him defend that belt in Mid-Atlantic once a month. So if he wasn't in Mid-Atlantic, he was in World Class. Mm-hmm. He was in Puerto Rico. He was in the Caribbean. He was in Japan. He was in Germany. Right. Nature Boy, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, all of them.
That's true.
They were cutting promos in Georgia and sending tapes back to play during the show.
Put a pin in that thought really quick, because along with that, I'm quite sure you remember as well in the magazines and all that stuff, the same conversation was being had, but the issue was, hey, guess what? They're wrestling so much that they're becoming champion at a faster pace than what it used to be. You know, we're talking Randy Orton on the cusp of allegedly beating Flair's thing. Charlotte on the cusp of beating Flair's thing. Triple H and Cena. Just lose the belt, get the belt. Lose the belt, get the belt. So that was the argument back then. Now you're saying,
Right.
okay, I want to see him more defend the belt, which could be lose the belt, get the belt, lose the belt, get the belt again. Go ahead, James. I just wanted to point that out. That that was the big argument about 15 some years ago.
Yeah, and then to Perry's point, you never saw Backlund wrestle on television.
I think Backlund was the worst tag on WWF champion ever.
He defended that belt once a month in Madison Square Garden. All those guys defended when they had the belt. They were in Madison Square Garden one time a month defending that belt. And that's all the champion needs to. That's why they have intercontinental belts. The intercontinental championship is supposed to be defended weekly.
But
it's
the
like
thing
a television title.
The Intercontinental title the Intercontinental title and the U.S. title has no luster anymore. It doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
And that's because they put as you should put emphasis on the world title. It should be your most important title, but it shouldn't be defended as much as it is because of its importance. That's why you have the Intercontinental belt. Afro Samurai. Everybody's looking for the number one headband, but what do you have to do to get to the number one headband? You got to beat number two. To get number two, you got to beat number three, and so on. You got to earn your way up. Nobody's earning their way up anymore. Folks are just getting title shots now. Just like WWE was talking so bad about the ranking system within the AEW, but they used to have a ranking system, and they got rid of it. So I mean, it's just out of whack right now. It's crazy. So I mean, you should not have your champion defend that belt.
Got the Baltimore Arena in there too.
First match.
Yeah.
Baltimore Arena.
But I said Madison Square Garden because that was their main.
No, I'm just messing with you.
But no, I mean, that was their main venue.
Right.
That was their main venue. So it's just like in the NWA was the Omni. That was Madison Square Garden for WWE. So yeah.
So what you're saying is what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to hope for, I guess you could say, because Chris says Brock is good, but it helps now that he can talk for himself, which is great. It's that excellent point, Chris. Excellent point. Here's my thing. If I can get Brock Lesnar, this new Brock Lesnar that's talking for himself, doesn't need an advocate, you get that guy, and imagine getting him. He doesn't have to wrestle, but damn, at least let me see you. Let me see you come in.
That's the thing. That's what I was saying.
He's not going to do it.
Everybody saying he's not good. He was up there. We don't know if this Brock is coming back. All we know is that he's at his kids' events and stuff like that. Brock, who knows? He could come back. He could not come back. He don't have to do what he want to do. He's just going to beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar could also go to Vince and say, you know what, Vince? I like the feel of this. I like the way the fans are responding. If you put the belt on me at WrestleMania, I'll give you a solid 4 months.
Okay, but think about this. Do you?
It could happen.
But do I blame Brock for not coming back full time? No. You got a wife, you got kids, and you got a farm. Right. And you have money, a wife, a kid, and a farm. I want to spend as much time on that farm as I possibly can.
He's an empty nester now. His kids are old enough. They're out there looking to get into the performance center or do whatever they want to do. So I
thought he had a young one. I thought he had.
I don't think he has anybody. I think they're all. No, it was in high school. I had to double check it. But the last one I recall was graduating from high school. That was 2019. Last time we talked about him. So I think at this point maybe out and old enough to not be sucking on daddy's teeth, so to speak. So,
but over in Saudi Arabia, he was hanging out with Shelton Benjamin and Corbin.
That's his family. Well, maybe not Corbin,
exactly.
But Shelton. That's Ace.
That best friend. I get that.
Yeah. Like that's the couch he was on. You gotta give
Exactly.
respect to that. Just think about that.
Now,
The
see,
beast incarnate is like, I'm gonna hang out with that guy because he let me crash. That's my man.
but my thing is, imagine having him back in the locker room. You would see a totally different WWE if Brock was back and he's the headliner of the company. He's the face of the company full time. AEW wouldn't have nothing on WWE, especially
Well, let
on
me
Monday
flip
night.
the script for you. Let me flip the script, and then we'll move on to the next topic because it won't be as in depth as this. Give me a time frame on when people are going to be tired of singing Judas.
Never.
Well, yeah, there is a time frame. It's the 12th of
At
never.
some point, Jericho's going to have to provide a new song.
No,
The pandemic
not really.
stretched it
no.
because there
Not
was
really.
nobody there, but he's going to evolve again
Of course.
into something because you can't give Jericho wrestling every single time, and he was the guy that was putting butts in the seats. Period. Didn't matter who else you had, who you signed, Cody, Omega. People came to see Y2J.
Jericho's totally different because Jericho has more. He has his fingers in more things. He has AEW. You love to see him on AEW, but when he disappears, you can still go elsewhere to see him. You can go see him on tour with Fozzy. You can go see him on the wrestling cruise. You got ways to see him perform in some capacity because he has something more. Not saying that Brock's one-dimensional and all he can do is wrestle because he can do UFC, but UFC, how often does UFC go at it?
Speaking of
How
UFC,
often do you see him
saw
in
a clip
UFC?
on the TikToks, a reminder of when Braun Strowman hit Brock with that knee, and Brock gave him a 2-piece of the biscuit and dropped Braun like it was nothing. Pop, pop. Braun
Exactly.
done. Just a reminder about his UFC capability.
How often are we going to see Brock in UFC? He's getting older. I hope he doesn't go down.
I don't think you're going to see Brock again in UFC.
So all you only shots you have, maybe in the audience, but seeing him perform.
Maybe Bellator or Strikeforce, but never in UFC. I think him and Dana are beefing right now. So I don't think you're going to see him in UFC. But I can see him in Bellator, maybe, because that's where some of those guys end up when they leave UFC. They go over to Bellator or they go over to Strikeforce or some of these smaller organizations and whatnot, to try to get some time in or to get another check. But yeah, I don't see him in UFC.
Hey, well, we just
Chris brought up
we're gonna put a pin. I was about to bring it up too.
Yeah.
What Chris was saying, but I agree with that because one of the great unsung heroes that the WWE is catching an L on is Neville back then, or Pac now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if they will let him do what he's doing now, then man, we'd be seeing cruiserweights flying all over the place doing what needs to get done. But
true.
That's Paul Heyman would have done that in ECW, but
Paul Heyman was trying to do that in WWE.
But yeah,
but they took the reins from him. No pun intended.
Yeah, before he could do anything.
And look where those people are now.
Exactly.
And look where Roman Reigns is now, bringing that pun back in. So we'll move on because we'll put a pin in it. Let me put it that way, just because things could happen. We'll revisit it, probably Mania time or whatever. If it happens, then they've got to do a run if Brock ends up beating Roman. So we'll see what the longevity that is, and then we can say, "I told you so, KG." Or if it doesn't happen, then KG, we're not even going to talk about it.
Exactly. Which one are we going to next?
Speaking of talking, is it time finally for King Heel? And by King Heel, we're talking about Xavier Woods. He won a King of the Ring, and he gave us a glimpse of where that could go. If you look at, the YouTube videos and stuff, when he was directing, put this camera on me, do this, do that. If they give the green light and he feels comfortable in the New Days with it, he can take that and parlay that into a strong persona that he hasn't had outside of the New Day in a long time. Or he can be King Woods, playing the Francesca, dancing around with Kofi, not anything else happening. So you guys tell me, should he go heel and commit? Should he turn on Kofi at some point? And then maybe it's him versus Big E, or who knows what could happen. Or should we keep the status quo, let the merchandise be what it's going to be, and he's just living a dream for the 1 to 2 to 3 years that he's king of the ring?
Let me follow up your question with a question.
Question.
Other than Bret Hart, name one King of the Ring that was a babyface.
True babyface?
A true babyface.
I already got it.
Go ahead.
Owen. When Owen won King of the Ring, he was a babyface.
No, he wasn't.
He was the king.
Wasn't.
He wasn't.
He was the king of hearts, and then he became the Black Heart King.
Yeah. After he won.
Was Booker
right after he won? That's what I'm saying. So he became a heel after he won King of the Ring. So tell me, other than Bret Hart,
wasn't Booker a face, and then he became King Booker? I'm sorry, King Booker.
I don't think so.
We have to double check that. I'm pretty sure he was.
He may have been in transition.
He became the King of the Ring and then started getting all cocky with it.
He may have been in transition, but I don't think he was a face while he was King of the Ring.
No, not while. I mean, before, and then he became King of the Ring and turned heel.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying. Name one King of the Ring. No, I don't think so.
Double check that, man. I'm telling you, I feel like it's Booker T.
Nope. Perry said Booker was heel when he won.
Exactly.
Christopher says there have been 0 true baby faces that won King of the Ring. I thought Owen was the baby face. My bad.
So what say you, Sumo?
So I'm saying he's gonna turn. This is his time to turn. Because, I mean, he's got so many reasons to do so. I mean, he could go the jealousy route where, y'all two gotten y'all WWE championships. I've never even been in contention. Now that I'm King of the Ring, I may be able to do my thing now. We let Big E go and do his thing. We let Kofi do his thing. How come I can't do my thing?
Right.
When it's my turn?
Oh,
then you got, okay, now I'm King of the Ring. I get to do what I want to do. And then he starts to do the selfish type stuff and whatever. But yeah.
So who's his WrestleMania opponent?
He's going to turn.
There's going to be a slow build. So who's he going to face at Mania? Is it going to be Kofi? Is that going to be the 1v1, the Clash of the New Day? Or
no.
Is he going to vie for a championship?
Oh, he's going to go for a championship.
But I mean, we're talking.
It's just a matter of which one.
Storyline wise, you're going to have him versus Kofi, or are you going to have him going for the US?
I don't see him going up. I see if he's going to go up against Kofi, it's going to be before WrestleMania, because he would have to actually
sell a crown jewel. So
because he's going to have to firmly establish himself as heel, and he will do that by going up against Kofi and turning on Kofi. So that's going to be before. Now, if they do have a match with them, I mean, this will be like a long-standing storyline where they just have him turn on Kofi and they just wrestle each other back and forth doing whatever until WrestleMania, and then Big E will probably come in and try to bring everybody back together.
Well, I was thinking that Big E would try to be the the person trying to keep them together, trying to be the arbitrator as they stretch.
Yeah, but he can't do that. He can't do that though as champion and on another show.
It can happen. That's what pay-per-views are for. That's what social
media
is
for. But I mean, how often are you going to have both brands on the same pay-per-view?
Well, they're all there at the same place. They're not touring like that yet. they're close enough. And
It could happen at Survivor Series.
if they utilize social
Yeah,
media,
it's
what
Survivor
the New Day
Series,
does,
it's too soon.
that's what I'm
It's too
saying.
soon.
Social media, they could.
It's gonna be a slow build for
They
him
all
to get until he becomes heel. You're gonna see little, like you said, you're gonna see little nuances of him slowly turning until that one day when that one show when they're gonna be in a tag team and Kobe's gonna get knocked right upside his head with that scepter or Francesca, whichever he has in his hand first. So
Chris, if I
yeah.
remember correctly, when he was wrestling down here in South Carolina, up at the, when they were doing shows at Furman and stuff like that. From what I heard, he was a heel for a brief stint.
He was a heel as Consequences Creed for a little while too.
Yeah, that's when he was down
remember
here. He was starting off as Consequence. Well, he became Consequences Creed while he was down here, and then took that off. But turning on Kofi will give him the heat. He's just going to have to go old school Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty, commit. It's going to be some chair shots. It's going to be a beat down. The scepter may get broken. The ring may get messed up. He may try to choke him with a turnbuckle or two. He's going to have to go in. But can he do it? Absolutely. Absolutely.
And not to cut off anything, but we got a visitor. We got Mr. Raj in the house.
Oh, what's up, dog?
Good to see you.
In. I got my headphones on, so
man.
I got my headphones on, so he can't hear what's going on. But
don't worry about it.
He's just sitting chilling, smoking.
He knew you was telling him where the storms was coming, so don't worry about it. I got one more. I know you got one more in you, James. I'm gonna get it out of you before the end of the show. We almost there.
You already got for the rest of the year. So now
we have to go home moment now. So you go ahead and molest some kids. All right. So
well, let me say this, because I didn't see this in your show notes, and I just wanted to say this. This is don't even need a rebuttal if you guys don't want to say anything. Why in the world is WWE making a mockery of Halloween Havoc?
I'm not even. That's why I wasn't in the show notes.
Like I am.
We've already had this discussion about that and War Games and.
But it's if you notice, it's all the NWA stuff. It's all the NWA pay-per-views that they make. Bash the Beach. You're making a mockery of this stuff, man. This is classic stuff.
If it's still a pay-per-view, I'd be cool with it.
Yeah, this is a show.
I think that every takeover now needs to be, or theme show needs to be on network television.
Well, you ain't got the network anymore.
Go ahead and post the Wolverine picture with the frame and just put WWE Network again right there. Miss it, because that's where it should be. Or put it on Peacock and give them the just due, but we know that's not going to happen, so we move on.
Yeah, Perry, they do own it.
They have the capability to do whatever they want, or they can just bury it and leave it in the vault and make some back end money off of it.
You know what? I'd rather them not touch it.
But it just needs to be a pay-per-view.
Or sell it to Cody like he wanted. Give it to Cody and let Cody have it like he wants it.
2 years ago, could have possibly happened if the sun shined. Now, nothing. Unless they really are doing those backdoor deals and say, well, I don't have any more superstars to give you. We'll just give you the name of this pay-per-view. You can have that. Who knows?
But here's my thing. And maybe everybody doesn't feel like this. But when you put Bash at the Beach, War Games, Halloween Havoc, you put those things, right? Great American Bash. When you put those things in such a small box and you put them on TV, when those were normally pay-per-views for NWA and WCW,
and the Bash ain't even in Baltimore. Mad about that.
But then they're not even doing anything special with them. It's just they're just tagging a name on it.
And the thing is it just me, or do y'all feel like it's a dishonor to Dusty? And I don't like nobody dishonoring Dusty. I'll fight you over that.
I don't look at it as a dishonor to Dusty because to me, I like hearing the name. I like seeing War Games has always been pre, Hell in a Cell and Elimination Chambers and all that. The best cage match experience that I've ever seen. The Match Beyond, It looks better now than what it was then, production wise. But then again, there was something to be seen of, Hawk or Animal throwing somebody's head up and they actually hitting the cage because it's so low. So from that design flaw, but I like hearing it. I just, like I said, my issue is they should be pay-per-views. Fastlane is a dumb pay-per-view name. Sorry.
Fastlane should be on TV.
Yes.
War
that should
Games
be
was
on TV.
designed for a high flyer.
What was it before Fastlane? What pay-per-view did that replace? Was it? Oh, it's been so long to be listening to that dumb garbage. It was like 5 years ago or so. Then they vaulted something. Was it Elimination Chamber?
No.
Wasn't it
No,
called?
they still got Elimination Chamber.
Was it Armageddon? Was it Armageddon? Something got vaulted and Fastlane became the new go home to WrestleMania. And we were all,
Yeah.
I remember, you're like, what the hell is Fastlane? Then the first one, it was all the 60s car and all that stuff. And it was almost like a sock hop leading up to it. Like, what the hell is this dumb crap? It's like Thunder all over again. Remember that first Thunder? It's like, okay, it's WCW. What the hell is this? Just the daggone, what was that, Renaissance Fair or something? What'd you say, Chris? Here's the thing now, when they do those shows, they don't have any star power on NXT to really draw any good numbers. Well, they used to. Remember when TakeOver was synonymous with the best pay-per-views in WWE, period. Now, some are gone.
When they did the War Games takeover. Remember that? Remember they did the War Games takeover?
Which one? The first one sucked.
No, it was
matter of fact, not the first one. The first one was great. The three-way one. The three-way one was the one that sucked.
No, it was a War Games one that they did. I think it was on Super Bowl Sunday. And what's his name? God, I can see him, and I just had his name and I can't think. Come on, Velveteen Dream got his man. I mean, he was getting it in. And then
watch that terminology. There's still some allegedness. What's the dream?
Oh man.
Allegedly.
That's always the key word here. Allegedly. But those takeovers like that, you got street fights and things like that. Yes, these are the things that we want. But you're putting the name on these great names that are synonymous with great pay-per-views, and you're just saying, okay, we're gonna stick this on in, here. It's like you trying to give me ring pudding and crackers and then tell me that it's potted meat.
You can't call it a prison meal because they make some interesting crafts in prison these days. So basically you was getting an unhappy meal.
Yeah, because in prison you can make pizza out of noodles. But
we're not gonna talk about all that stuff you was putting together back in the day.
Mind your business. So just mind your business.
We'll leave that for PTA. All right, so
we all got to pass.
This is our final segment. This is what we're going to wrap everything up on before we tell you to do something with your bonds. 2 parts. Are you still feeling Big E? And is it time for Kenny Omega to drop the title? I know we kind of talked about the Big E thing a little bit here or there, but, you tell me.
I'm not tired of Big E.
But
I'm not tired of him yet. I mean, he just got the belt. He's doing his thing with it. He's making all these appearances and whatnot. He's doing his thing. So let him get his man. You know what I'm saying? Let him do his thing.
You can say that about Big E. Just don't say that about
you like how I threw that in there, right? You like that, KG.
There's no allegedly needed thus far. Knock on wood. There's no allegedly needed.
As far as Kenny is concerned, I could go with Kenny for a little while longer.
Really?
Because I don't see right now anybody getting the belt from him that would actually make sense. I don't want to see it on Moxley again.
You don't think Page
winning? I don't want to see it on Moxley again. Adam Page, I like him better chasing than I can see him with the belt. So I mean, I don't know if and plus I've never seen him with a belt other than that tag team championship. that he had with Omega. So I like him chasing. I like him
MJF?
chasing.
You don't think it's MGF's time?
No. Like just like you said about just like somebody said earlier about Brock attractions not getting belts. MJF is their attraction. So I mean, I don't necessarily. MJF doesn't need a
That was
belt.
Cody's job.
It
That
was Cody's
Remember, he
job.
was supposed to be the attraction.
He was supposed to be the attraction, but MJF is the attraction. MJF puts butts in the seats. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's like Tully Blanchard back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
People paid to see Tully Blanchard get his ass whooped.
Yep. And when that
They
didn't
wanted
happen,
to see him.
they were
See him
pissed.
get his ass kicked. And that's the same thing with MJF. People paid to see MJF get whooped up on.
I agree with that analogy because there's been many a time that, I will leave the Baltimore arena just pissed. Everybody just mad. We didn't care about everything else. Like, fucker, God damn it, he didn't get his comeuppance again. Especially when he was a thorn in Sting's side.
Well, Chris said Big E needs a decent run, and as far as Kenny goes, Hangman makes sense to get the belt since they picked up the story since he came back. I could see Hangman.
What about Malachi Black?
See him getting it. It kind of makes sense to get it, but I just like him as chasing the belt. I like seeing him chasing after the belt. When he gets, I mean, there will eventually come a time when I'll be like, yeah, it's time for him to get it now. But I just don't see that right now. I mean, I enjoy watching him chasing the belt.
That's why I posed the question, because to me, when we're talking about, the larger promotions, those are the two championships that could be in flux potentially. Roman, he solidified. That's safe for a while. But Big E, he could lose it at some point soon, or he could not. It all depends on how they want to write it. Kenny Omega could say, you know what? Maybe I want to go to Japan for a little bit and then come back. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it, let it happen, do the honors. Hell, I was reading that Charlotte actually wanted Bianca to win at Crown Jewel, and she went to McMahon and actually asked for that to be the finish. Right. But they shot that down. That could be how Kenny's feeling. Because, do I think somebody needs to be touted? Oh, you've been champions for 589 days. I'm like, God dang. Okay, at some point, it's time for you to go after the championship again. Because as many times as it was great to see Nature Boy on TV with the belt, talking about, 10 pounds of gold and the gold he was wearing around his wrist and how expensive his shoes were, it was equally as entertaining to hear him talk about who he was going to beat to get it back. So,
and see, that's crazy because I grew up to Sting being the one chasing after Ric Flair.
Yeah. Oh, there's been
that's where I grew up at.
There's names we can rattle off from, Sting or Nikita Koloff or Harley Race,
Lex Luger,
and just names that if Flair just said the name out of his mouth, all you're gonna think about is promos, and whatever side of the coin he was on, you knew it was gonna be entertaining, and you just had to watch. And still, there's a lot of people that haven't got that relatability. I won't say the capability, but the relatability to come across as the Hard Times promo, come across through the TV and to pull you back in and let it be what it needs to be.
Two things.
Roman finally got it because he's just doing it the right way. What's up, KG?
Two things. What Perry said: Sting titles reign suck. Sting was one that was better chasing the belt. He was always better than me chasing the belt.
And being that underdog in the back, they didn't give him his just due when he got it because there was just too much going on. They didn't let it come to fruition under right terminology or right management. It could have been something. So I guess since we talk about Sting, should Sting get one more run?
No.
Just checking. Just checking.
Secondly, What was it? Sting? Oh, and then you missed that before we started. I had the little one doing the Hard Times promo. Reach out, touch my hand.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, sorry,
Oh man, you
I'm
missed
trying
that.
to get the technical to be undifficult.
But what's crazy? She's 7 months, and I show her that promo at least once or twice a week, and she doesn't cry. She doesn't move. She watches that promo. Focus, like she knows exactly what Dusty's talking about when he's talking about Hard Times.
Hey,
I say,
it's
I
a
got
race.
it.
One of our kids need to be at WrestleMania so we get some free tickets. That's all I'm saying.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying with my kids, and look, I already try. I'm trying to get BJ to send Junior over so I can teach him how to flip off the back of the sofa.
Oh Lord! All right, as long as they you record it and we get a vignette or something like that, like the Hardys or Foley. But yeah, I agree with that, Chris. That creative control is in their contracts, but at least on that side of the coin, it seems like they're not using it to run things over like we saw in WCW, where I ain't gonna do
Well,
that.
actually, they pretty much lost their creative control because Tony Khan is pretty much has the last say on everything now.
Yeah, but they have some.
They can make suggestions and they can bring things to the table, but they don't have final say.
Yeah,
But here's the thing,
very McMahonish of him.
But
I mean, he had to do something to rein things in because things were getting out of control.
Look at WCW.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't going to last. I knew it was going to last long, and it's actually happened. So I mean,
because they grow.
It was time. It was time.
But here's the thing: when the inmates run the asylum, look what happens. Look at WCW. Nash, Hogan, all those guys had so much creative control. The same people over and over. You had so many cliques, so many different cliques. Same people over and over with the belt. I don't want this. I don't want that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not jobbing to this guy. I'm not jobbing to that guy. Come on now. Just my thing.
Right, Barry. Right.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with him having final say as long as he's open to ideas. And that's the difference.
No, he's very open to ideas. I mean,
that's the difference between the two. One, you got so much chain of command to get there. If you can actually get to Vincent Kennedy, he may actually say yes. But the problem is getting to Vincent Kennedy. TK, Tony Khan, is literally right there. Probably hanging out with you at catering. Probably, as we see if you watch Rose to the Top, he's literally right there for majority of the time, pre-show and stuff like that. So, hey, Tony, let me holler at you for a second. It's a pretty easy thing to do. And then, you see where that falls. But
plus him not being actually in the business or growing up in the business.
He's a fan. He had some heated words about what WWE was alluding to behind the scenes about the comparison of him and Ted Turner. He said he knew more in his pinky finger, if I'm summarizing, of the wrestling business than Ted Turner knew, period.
Well, Ted Turner knew nothing about the wrestling business. He just bought a company. Tony Khan was an actual fan that was on the ECW and WCW party lines and shit. Calling in.
Oh, he could afford it.
He was part of some group that was writing out his own storylines like you were doing, back in the day. So I mean, he's one of them. So I mean, he knows the business like we know the business as fans. But I mean, he hasn't been inside the business until now. So I mean, for him to ignore guys that have been in the business 10, 15, 20 years and taking their ideas and at least considering them, that would be stupid.
Yeah. I agree. It would be asinine for him. So he's doing the right things, and that's why the talent and everybody is flocking to, and he's pretty much the destination that a lot of people would like to go to as a first choice.
Here's my thing.
We saw Tony Nese tonight. So that's an interesting state of affairs. That's another person whose non-compete has ended. Speaking of somebody else, Braun Strowman may be locked down pretty close to going somewhere. and
Impact.
so is
Impact.
Wyndham Rotunda. Say it again.
Braun is about
Yeah.
to sign with Impact.
I wasn't going to give it away. I was going to let you have that for your segment. Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, we talking. We hasn't actually happened yet, but the word is out there. So I mean, yeah, he's actually in talks with Impact right now, and he could be signed before the end of the year. So yeah.
Yeah, and good call out on that, Chris. And shout out to Chris and his podcast as well. We got to get him on the show at some point so he can hash some ideas and maybe do the weather and stuff there than James. But then again, nobody, and I mean nobody, points to all the clouds, the snow, the sleet, the hail, and the shit like James.
Wow.
You are the people's weatherman.
Even when you try to be nice, you're an asshole.
There was more coming, but that's about all I can muster up.
You know what, James? I got something special for you, man. I'm trying to get this in the works where when you get ready to do That's So Nubian, or That's Just Nubian, I'm flubbing all the way around the board.
That's so Raven. Where you at, man?
Look, when you do That's Just Nubian, I'm gonna have my mic come down from the
ceiling.
ceiling.
Kind of look lesbianish.
You know what?
Here we go. You know what?
You know what?
Thank you for joining us. But I'm gonna get my mic to come down from the ceiling so I can introduce you right now.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
I'm gonna get me one of them Steve Harvey suits.
Well, I don't know. Steve Harvey's been wearing some crazy stuff recently.
I'm gonna give me one of them Steve Harvey suits so I can bring you out right.
Oh God.
That's what I'm doing.
I appreciate that, KG.
You and I.
We're gonna talk about verses.
I said you and I gonna be on the verses.
Well, man, because that last verses, boys.
Man, did it speak to your soul?
Man, let me tell you, it was soul cleansing.
See,
man, I mean,
you gotta be from a certain era to get that.
I'm here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where my boys, you see. And I went to a venue where there's a bunch of hip hop heads, right? And actually, DJ Skaz, and correct me if I'm getting his name wrong, Perry, but Skaz, his road DJ for the Big Daddy Kane's road DJ for the past 20 years, right? Was there DJing at this venue called the London Bridge in downtown Raleigh. And it was just a bunch of hip hop heads there. I mean, just real true to the wool, died to the wool hip hop heads there. Skaz did it. Yeah, shouts out to Skaz, man. And it was just, you had everybody pretty much standing up the whole time, dancing, singing along, rapping. Whenever they had a guest come out, everybody just popped for them. The whole thing, man. I was on my feet for that whole thing. I didn't sit down once during that whole verses, man. That shit was just,
dang. Yep.
That shit was crazy.
When you got whole around on fire, all that arthritis, god damn.
Man, my foot gonna go dead up in your throat when I see you the next time. I'm gonna give you a tracheotomy with my big toe.
Wow. Let me say this.
You gave the Mick Foley thumbs up as you was leaving. Like, I'm okay. I'm gonna make it to work tomorrow, but damn, my knees hurt.
Let me say this. When they announced that versus and they said KRS-One versus Big Daddy Kane, I said, most people not going to understand that. They be like, who? KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane, respectively, the number 1 and the number 4 all-time top lyricists of all time. It goes KRS-One, Rakim, Nas, Big Daddy Kane. As far as lyricists go, that's top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Putting them two together, and everybody used to, back in the day when Juice Crew was beefing with Boogie Down Productions. Some of y'all don't remember this because y'all young. They wanted Kane to go at KRS-One and end the whole thing. He said he couldn't go at KRS-One because KRS-One helped him move out of his parents' house with his purple sofa and move into his first apartment with Melody. What's her name? Melody B.
Miss Melody.
Yeah, Miss Melody. And after they finished moving, they drank a case of Heineken and watched the Color Purple on a 13-inch TV. He said, "I can't never go at him. That's my man." And just to see them two in a versus, oh my goodness! I was like, these youngsters don't understand
that night.
They don't understand that's now. Now, if you want to really follow up on that, give me a versus Kool Moe Dee versus LL Cool J.
Oh, I thought you was going to say go-go bands. I'm like, God, we need to hear that crap. Allegedly.
Oh, I'll take Junkyard versus Red Essence on a versus.
I'll take that.
No, don't agree with them.
I'll take that.
Don't listen to the go-go. Nobody know what that is.
Hey James, why you had to cut so deep? Damn.
I'm just saying. We've been having these conversations since that damn thing happened, man. Just like
they don't even go here.
Just like we had a circle here last night in the humble abode talking about. What you say?
I said Chuck Brown versus Percolate. That's the only song we got. So that's just gonna be a constantly.
You got all them Frank Ski songs. It's some hoes in this house. It's some hoes.
No, we were saying last night in my little cigar circle last night. It was like Busta Rhymes versus who?
That's the problem. Busta been calling people out for a while.
Nobody want to go.
Everybody trying to go.
Nobody wants to go against Busta. Nobody.
You know who need to go up against Busta? Split.
Ooh.
Like,
but Chris said it. JYB ain't no joke.
Yeah.
Busta versus Missy?
No. Not on that level.
No.
Well, who ain't on who level? Because Missy got hits.
Yes, Busta would kill her.
That right there, hey Chris, I think that'll put Red Essence on the ropes. It may not knock him out, but it'll put him on the ropes.
I've heard of that song, but I can't tell the difference, Chris, because you're new to the show. So, being from there, Baltimore, that is, we just can't decipher one go-go song from the other. I'm sorry, they all sound like it's the same beat. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Same beat.
Moving right along,
KG.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Dead wrong.
I'm just telling you to tell me I was wrong. James, wrap this shit up.
Yes.
And Perry say it's a performance, and she has a catalog, and she has the catalog.
She does have
yes,
a catalog.
Yes, she does.
No doubt about her catalog now.
That was never the problem. But if we talking like going head to head.
Now, see, in verses, you do your songs plus the songs you're featured on. So you got Busta Rhymes got Scenario, and then he got what was that? Who was with Poor Righteous Teachers? He got no, he wasn't with Poor Righteous Teachers. It leaves him new school.
Like, yo, man, I need you tonight.
He got longevity. We talking 30-some years.
What about Busta versus Public Enemy?
Nope.
Nah.
No, we actually brought up.
Why you hate?
We actually brought up Public Enemy versus X-Clan.
Oh yeah, I can see that too, and that's gonna be a hard thing. That's what she said.
They'll shut that down before it gets started.
Right.
Like that right there. That's what all the black nationalists gonna come out on that one. We all gonna be out there.
Just don't listen to Nick Cannon talking about the only person that could go up against Mariah is R. Kelly.
Whitney Houston would destroy Mariah Carey because Mariah Carey, every album she had up until Butterfly. But after Butterfly, she went into a slump until Emancipation of Mimi. So let's not even talk about that. Whitney Houston was hit after hit after hit after hit, soundtrack after soundtrack. No, Mariah Carey ain't messing with Whitney Houston. I'm sorry.
She know that too. But either way, James.
And Busta versus Rakim. I think Busta get Rakim.
What about Busta versus Method Man
too?
And nobody's alive in X-Clan.
Yeah, Busta versus Wu-Tang, but mostly Meth.
No, well, Perry. There are a lot of members of X-Clan that are dead, but remember, you got You got what was that secondary group that he had with them? Black Sun Riders. He had the Black Sun Riders, and they're still Brother Jay is still touring as far as I know. So Brother Jay, so the X Clan is still alive in some form, but but Brother Jay did all the songs anyway, so he just needs a DJ, pretty much.
So I guess if we're gonna bring it back towards wrestling, so we'd have to have Max Caster versus Hit Row.
Yeah. Well, it would have to be Max Caster versus
Top Dollar.
I'd say Max Caster versus B-Fab.
He
seems to be the best rapper out of all of them.
Top Dollar got the best flow, allegedly. But we'll have to see. I don't know. We know Swerve, he ain't got no rhymes.
Yeah, Swerve's okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't throw John Cena in there somewhere.
Yeah, on Zark Henry. Shout out to Triple H. Hopefully you're getting better. Even though that was racist when you did that. But still. It was funny, but that was racist.
Bro needs to take a long walk off a short bridge. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I can't believe them yet. They're going to get the WWE treatment coming from NXT. I think they were called up too early.
Let me tell you this: if you want to put somebody against John Cena in the verses, John Cena ain't beating Ron Artest. So now, James, let's wrap this up. Let's go home. Let's go home.
You want to leave it? That's your mic drop. That's your mic drop.
Freddie Fox is well. That's why he can't beat Ron Artest. Moment of silence for the champions. And you never heard champions by Ron Artest?
Shannon Sharp.
Huh? What do you say?
John Cena versus Shannon Sharp. There you
skip.
That's the B-Mo remix. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
Oh man, let's go home. Let's go home.
Well, you got to tell folks where to find us first.
Well, you can hear us on Facebook.
Because these fools have gone all over the place.
Like you didn't go into a whole diatribe earlier, and I'm not even going to bring up on what.
You can't take these two anywhere. But allegedly, you can watch us on the YouTube and stuff, so you can like and subscribe, and hopefully they will actually stay on topic. Because there is production notes that they don't read, and production expectations that somebody just don't watch. Even though allegedly he has a job, but we know he like Tommy, he ain't got no damn job.
Somehow the bill get paid.
You can also hear us on a lot of the really popular podcasting places like iTunes and where else is it? Stitchers and the Pocket Cast and
Overcast and
Owltail, Widetail,
Podtail,
Opentail.
Don't get us no tail.
For real. You ain't getting that belt tail.
That's all right. I get something better. Moving right along. Moving right along.
Y'all something else, man.
Hey, man. Sometimes it happens when you have that much tail. It happens. So,
well, thank you everybody that chimed in and hit us with the comments and whatnot. We appreciate your input.
And, how many times you was streaming to the tail and it was like, oops, I'm pregnant again? What number you on?
I'm still behind you.
No, you ain't. You better clear that one up too, sir.
So everybody that chimed in, we appreciate you. Just keep bringing those comments in. We appreciate your input.
Convicts.
I said comments.
What's up with you in this jail talk tonight?
I know, right?
Nobody understand what he's saying. Come on, Hank, get it together.
Dang old car just went boom.
God dang, like the Black Sand Tennessee. Just say it. Say
why? Why, God? Why?
stop me, James, you would have nothing else to do on a Saturday night because we know you. Yeah.
Oh, I have plenty to do on a Saturday night. Just like you ain't gonna see me in 2 weeks. I have plenty to do on Saturday night.
Is that your way of putting in PTO?
Going on that time.
Wait, is that your way of putting in PTO?
Oh yeah, I'm putting in PTO.
Book it now.
If anybody wanting to see me in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, you want to sketch me in Durham, North Carolina, at North Carolina Central University for homecoming.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Eagle Pride Amplified, nigga.
Eagle Pride, that's right. Eagle Pride Amplified.
Okay.
We'll let you have that as long as you ain't talking about them daggone Panthers. So, did we cover where we can see us at?
Yes, you can see us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebooks, all that.
Oh, did you cover tomorrow Sunday Rise? You want to give them a tidbit what y'all want to talk about?
I'm sorry. Tomorrow morning, Sunday Rise, NFL pregame show, 10:30 sharp, live on Podbean.
James,
since we give a shout out, why don't you talk about Chris and his podcast that you brought up? Why don't you give him a shout out?
Anybody talking to Chris?
Well, don't forget to watch Straight to Tape on Tuesdays at 8.
Straight to Tape Tuesdays on 8 with our boy Perry.
Chris, go ahead, post a link up for your podcast, Chris. Because I'm brain farting on, even though I listen to it. Hold on, let me pull it up.
This guy's brain farting.
I'm tired,
it's always
man, I can't be playing
We're
around
gonna
with
talk about Straight to Tape on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock. You got your boy Perry Jones who's been chiming in. Rob the Actual, Tico Buffet, Tico de Gallo, and
Hip Hop Mom.
Hi Keisha.
Oh God.
How you doing? I enjoyed hanging out with you and Rob the Actual Sunday for Versus. So yeah, that was nice. You know,
there you go.
And dinner was wonderful. Thank you.
So you really bad that night.
Hey James.
I knew it.
Hey James.
Yes.
I know what you meant to say. Let me tell you what you meant to say. Hey Keisha, how you doing, baby? Good to see you. That was great.
Why you trying to take his girl, cuz? Don't smash the homie.
I had fun hanging out with you and Rob the Actual the other night.
See, you got your style, I got mine. About that.
See, it's just, you know,
either way, if you guys want to catch out some good indie wrestling or get
you be pretty Tony, I'll be Goldie. Okay.
So we know you ain't pretty. You could be a Tony, but as you see right there, Straight Up Wrestling Show. If you want to watch some good indie wrestling from down here in the good old South, you can follow them, and you can see a lot of great wrestling from some of the good promotions all around South Carolina and beyond, as well as they have their podcast show throughout the course of the week as well. So you can check out Mr. Burton and some of that insider talk when it comes down to it. Or if not, you can just, call me and ask me what he's doing. I'll be like, he's probably selling something at GameStop. So that's pretty much how that'll work.
Lord Jesus.
Anything else, James, with your old ass? Are you done now?
What's with all this hostility tonight?
Well, you say you're gonna be gone in 2 weeks. So I got 2 weeks to make sure I get everything in before you hit the grave.
I'm gonna do you like Fist of the North Star. I'm gonna put my finger straight through your medulla oblongata.
Well,
okay.
Sure just tell me if I'm healthy when you get done. I'm about that age anyway. You gotta check the prostate, so
it's not down that low.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
I thought so. Thanks for confirming it.
I just wanted to make sure the weatherman knew something other than weather,
Okay, all right.
Can y'all wrap this up?
So
I'm trying to.
KG.
For the big guy, KG, and for this asshole over here,
diversify your bonds.
Konnichiwa, bitches.
And thank you for dinner again, Keisha.
God